Doobie doobie doo. Okay, guys, couldn't sleep. Well, I haven't tried to lay down yet. But my mind's just going and going. I'll wait about 5 minutes, see if anyone comes on. If they don't, I understand it. You're probably sleeping. But I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, or the dads, or the aunts, or the grandmas that take part in kids' lives. Doobie 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 doobie. I'm not going to stay on, but I did want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. It was a long night at work. A long night. Glad it's over. Hi, Nicole. Love you too. Hey, Jackie, how the heck are ya? What's going on, Chickie? Are you at the place or are you somewhere else and you got food poisoning? I was asking about you. Of course, Nicole. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Okay, so I have to let you know what happened. Hi, Deb on the Move. So Jackie, type in what's going on. Anyway, let me tell you real quick. Okay, so the other day I'm eating, right? All of a sudden I bite down and I feel this crunch and I'm thinking, oh crap. You know how you just know it's not the food that you're eating? Well, it was half my tooth. Well, it wasn't my tooth. It was a crown. So my dentist does it, and this happened on Wednesday night. And he doesn't work on Fridays, and I work on Thursdays. So I knew I was going to have to miss work because I had to get this taken care of because there was hardly anything there, right? So I go in Thursday. I was in the chair for 2 hours, but they did fix it. So that's one crisis over. You're in a hotel. Oh. Hi, Susie B. So what do you think it was? Hi, Captain Lee. So what do you think it was, Jackie? We're in my craft room. I've been cleaning this stupid room for the last 5 days. And you know how you keep cleaning, but you look around and you think, man, still looks messy. But I don't have that big of a room and I need the stuff that I need, right? Ugh, drives me nuts. You got so sick Thursday and Friday. I still feel really wrung out. Now, does food poisoning usually do that? I mean, I don't know. Or do you think you caught a bug of some sort? And are you going to be able to get with the rest of the ladies pretty soon, I hope? I feel so bad for you having to be in a hotel. How you doing, Susie B? I bet you Muppet's sleeping. I wish she would have got on because I would. And Kubi said to me last night, I love Kubi. She goes, Davida, I think it's time for you to go live. I said, are you having withdrawals, Kubi? She's probably sleeping. Hi, Denise. Are you feeling better tonight, Jackie? I feel so bad that you're not there. Dang it. You ate some shrimp on Wednesday and wondering about that. I haven't thrown up that much, but I had horrible pains in your gut. I'm checking out on Monday, hopefully feeling better. Oh, good. So you were going to go there and just stay in the hotel until people got to the destination? Is that what you were doing? Because I know Linda got there yesterday? Last night? Oh, good. I'm glad. That's, you know what? I think that's probably the worst thing to happen when you're not at home and you start feeling sick. I remember one time I was in Las Vegas and I was pregnant. I think I was pregnant with Josh, my fourth. And I started really feeling sick. And we had gone there to see Sonny and Cher. And it was the next day, but we were supposed to stay another day. I was feeling so sick, and I remember vividly, even to this day, and he's 41, and I kept thinking, oh God, I just want to be home. I don't want to have to drive all the way home feeling like this. So I know what that feels like when you're not at home. So I hope you are feeling better, Jackie, and you continue to feel better every day. Yeah, so hopefully everything will be done by tomorrow and you can connect with everyone. I'm just going back right now. Let's see. And you guys, I am so sad about Naomi. You guys, that really, really hit me hard. And I'm not a real country western type of girl. I'm more Led Zeppelin and Janis Joplin and the Doors. But, I mean, I always liked them. You know what I mean? And since she passed, I've been watching everything I can find on YouTube. And, oh, okay. Naomi was the producer or director. I can't remember what she was. But anyway, she was something. And the movie that she made back in the 90s, okay? So then I was hell-bent on finding that stupid movie. Well, I didn't want to pay to see it, so I'll tell you now, if you're at all interested, it's on Tubi, Tubi, and it's a free app. You don't pay anything. And they are running it. It was such a good movie. So if you're at all interested, go to Tubi and just download the app and you can watch it for free. So I think they're going to, yes, she did have a lot of struggles, Jackie. She wrote Love Can, yes. And I mean, she was both of them, very talented. But you guys, okay, I need your opinion on this. Okay. So what I can't understand is they were getting ready to go on their farewell tour again. I didn't know that. Until just 2 days ago. They were going to do what they did years back. And she loved going on tour, and that's where she felt most at home, is when she was with her fans and Wynonna when they were going out on the road. Okay, so she had that coming up. Stay with me on this. She had that coming up, okay? Also, the very next day, they were going to be inducted, okay, into the Country Hall of Fame. What I don't understand, and trust me, when I know about depression, believe me, Believe me when I tell you, it is a very dark hole. It's a dark hole. It's black, it's ugly, it's the most ugliest feeling that anyone could ever have. And I was talking to my daughter about this the other day after she had passed. And Mother's Day, okay? Mother's Day tomorrow or today, wherever you are. But what I don't understand is, was she so far down into that hole that she couldn't get out of it? Because when they said our mother, that mental illness killed her, okay, so, and I've been looking at all kinds of feedback, and I thought the same thing. Now, I could be entirely wrong, but the only thing I could come up with is suicide, okay? And I'm surmising, and I don't know, it's just my opinion. She probably, if it was suicide, and we don't know that for sure, but the way it was written, that's what you would think, right? She probably took an overdose of pills, is what again, this is just my opinion. But what I don't understand, if she could just, knowing that all these things were coming up and they were positive things, and they were things that, especially going on tour again, that could have helped her. I don't know. Ever since she passed, I've just been so obsessed with this. You know, it's just, did it go black? Because I didn't mean to, but I made the screen go big. Tell me if it's black on your end. Doggone it. Crap. What did I do? I can't make it come down, guys. You're seeing a real big part of my quilt. I just need your guys' input on this. Yeah, and Mickey Gilley, I just heard about that. Yeah, she did have a lot of struggles. Hi, Robin. You know, I thought that too when they were, Captain Lee, when they were at the awards. You know what? And I'm wondering if maybe she was dealing with maybe physical things, you know, from taking all of the antidepressants. You know, who knows? I mean, but I feel so bad. Oh, good. It's not black. Okay, well, we're just going to look at a really close-up of the quilt because I don't want to do anything to make it go black. My girlfriend made me this quilt, you guys. She passed away. We were friends. I was in 5th grade and she was in 6th grade. We were friends all our lives. And for my 50th birthday, she was a remarkable seamstress. And she made me this quilt for my 50th. And she passed away like 4 years later. Very unexpected. Yeah, maybe it was an accidental, you know. You really don't think she wanted to do it again, Captain Lee fan? Yeah, Nicole, that was crazy. I mean, you know what stinks about it? She went to the doctor and she told them, she said, I don't know, I don't feel good. I don't know what it is, but I do not feel good. You know what the doctor told her? She told her, because she drank a lot of Diet Coke, she told her to lay off the Diet Coke and ride the bike, stationary bike, and she could see her next week. So she went home and she called her sister and she said, I don't know, I'm not feeling good. So that night her husband, they were watching TV and she said, I am feeling real bad. She goes, I got to go to the hospital. So he took her to the emergency room. And you'd have to know her, but she took, she always was doing some kind of, either it was cross stitch, quilting, some kind of needle art, crocheting, whatever. So she took crocheting with her to the emergency room. She looked at her husband they were sitting in the emergency room before she got to the table. Into the room. And she said, I feel really bad. She died right in the chair. Right in the chair. She had a massive heart attack. Is that nuts? And at her funeral, they had, because like I say, she made quilts constantly. And they had a quilt on every pew. One of her quilts that she had made. It was so pretty. It was such an intimate, with a part of her being on every one of those pews, But can you believe that? The doctor telling her to lay off the diet. I think that they did some kind of lawsuit. They never made it real well known, but I got a little bit of information from from her sister. So I don't know how it ever turned out, but and you know what? I didn't know, but I know, Jackie, isn't that terrible? Yeah, that was nuts. But I didn't know. You guys have to watch that movie with Naomi Judd. Anyone that likes her, go to Tubi. Because I promise you, I looked all over. I looked on Netflix. I looked on HBO, Paramount Plus. None of them have this because it was way back. She did it back, I think it was in 99, maybe? 90, I don't remember. It was in the 90s. Anyway. But I guarantee, Jackie, if you can download that onto your phone, you could watch that tonight. It would keep you company since you're in the hotel room. I feel so bad about that. But it's the best thing. And then tomorrow you're going to feel good, and then it's going to be a wonderful week. But anyway, if you go to Tubi, Tubi, and just download the app, it's a free app. You can watch it. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But I didn't know that Larry, that her husband now, he cheated on her when they were boyfriend-girlfriend. And so she dumped him for a year. And Wynonna's the one that got a hold of him when they got on to RCA, where they picked them up. Wynonna let him know, and that's how he got back into the picture. And then, they stayed together until now, until she passed. But it was very interesting, just from her point of view, being a part, having a say in this movie. And Ashley Judd, she does the narration in certain parts of the movie. So, yeah, it was very interesting. Oh, yeah, we will say prayers for sure, Jackie. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Tab ate a hole in your sister's stomach. Wow. Yes, they do need to learn to listen, Denise. So her funeral Okay. Do you guys, oh yeah, do you think it was just accidental, the majority of you in here? Hi, Shay. Do you think it was accidental? And maybe it was. Maybe it was. Because, like I said, with everything coming up, I just can't imagine. I just can't. I mean, the very next day, they were going to be inducted. I mean, I don't know. It just blows my mind when I think about it. And Ashley, because I was listening to, she suffers from depression. And she even put herself into a facility. And that's, I saw YouTube. She was talking about this facility. I can't remember the name of it. But it's kind of runs through the family. And I just don't know what Wynonna's going to do now. You know what I'm saying? Because she has a hard exterior, but I think she's kind of soft, really, if truth be known. Yeah, the performance was different. I have to agree, Susie, because I remember looking at it thinking, I don't know, something's not right. You know, I just felt like something was off. Something was a little off. You know, and who knows? I mean, who knows? But my heart does go out to, you know, her daughters and husband. So the funeral's Monday. And from what I've read, it's going to be public. I don't know how public. I mean, I don't know if they're going to show parts of the actual funeral, you know, because you know darn well there's going to be a huge amount of country western and other people there to show their respect. Hi, Tammy. How you doing, sweetie? Well, see, Deb on the Move, that's what I thought too. When they said that mental illness took her, well, what other way would that be? You know what I mean? What other way was there that mental illness would take her? I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I thought. You got to meet them, Tammy? Oh, I bet you're really broken about it, Tammy. Yeah, the funeral's Monday. Yeah, that's all I've thought about. Like I say, I've watched every YouTube, I've watched every interview, and Tammy, I don't know if you heard, but if you go on to Tubi and you download that app, you can watch the movie about them. It was back in the 90s. But you know what, Captain Lee fan, I thought about a gun, but I don't think she would have done that to herself. I don't think she would have wanted to cause, and again, I could be wrong, but in my mind, I'm thinking she was such a beautiful woman. I don't think she would want her kids or her husband or anyone else to find her in that kind of state by using a gun. That's why, again, this is just my opinion. If she did commit suicide, I more believe it would have been an overdose. And keep in mind, she was a nurse. I mean, she could have used even a needle. You know, I mean, again, I mean, this is all speculation. But oh, she did die of overdose of the medication, Tammy? Where did you hear that? She did have many attempts on it. I know she talked about it a lot. Yeah, Robin's Nest. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think she would want her daughters to see her like that, using a gun. I just don't. And I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just don't know if she would do that. I act like I know her. I don't know her. But Winona was a pill. She was a pill. She was a very strong, well, both of them were. But boy, they had their knockouts all in this movie. I mean, and again, Naomi oversaw what was going on in the making of this movie. But I'll tell you, they really, they did not get along at all. A lot of fighting. Oh, but Tammy, you should keep those. Because those might mean something, especially since you met them. Were they real nice to you, Tammy, when you met them? Okay, Susie B. Have a wonderful Mother's Day. Kubi's going to be so mad that she wasn't in here because she wanted me to go live. She's probably sleeping. Tomorrow I'm going to be with Daisha and her little kids and husband. And then next week, because the boys, because they're married and they have kids and their wives are mothers and, So next week, the boys are taking me to a late lunch at this barbecue place because they gave me a lot of options of different places to go. And I want Wood Ranch because I like barbecue. So they're going to take me to lunch next Sunday. So I'll be with Daisha tomorrow. Deb on the move. I'm not alone. I've been blocked for about 3 weeks. I would keep the pictures. Yeah, I would too, Tammy. I would definitely keep them. There were a lot of demons that mother was carrying, and she portrayed that on, she portrayed that on one child to make her be the best that she could be. Some resentment, but look at the two beautiful women she made. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I'm sorry, Robin. Nothing new about that one stepson. How about your daughter? Now, I know she lives a distance. I moved on. I guess she hasn't. Sounds like there are quite a few of us. So where did you meet them, Tammy? And you know what? For some reason, and I don't know why, I thought that Naomi didn't have a lot of money. When I'm speaking this now, I'm speaking when she was a kid. For some reason. But in this movie, it depicts that they were middle class. They had a decent home, and she, went to dances. And I mean, the way it portrayed them is they weren't like Loretta Lynn, and Butcher Holler or Dolly Parton. It wasn't like that for her when she was a kid. When she struggled is when she left her husband and moved back to Kentucky and trying to make ends meet when she was, especially when she was going to college to be a nurse. That's where it was the real struggle, because the dad had left the mom, and I didn't know this either. The dad had left the mom for a girl Naomi's age at the time, which was in her 20s. And she wanted she was taking him to court, and she wanted Naomi to, go on the stand, and I don't know what she wanted her to say, but Naomi said, I can't do that. He's my dad, and I love both of you. Well, her mom got mad at that. And I think that's what started the real ball rolling with their problems to an extent. But it was a very interesting movie. No, I called him, left him a message asking him to call me, but he never did. My daughter and son would be here if they could. Oh, I'm so sorry, Robin. That's a drag. I'm so sad about that. Hopefully, you can get to your daughters soon. But yeah, so that's it, kids. That's all I know. That's all she wrote. Gonna watch the funeral on Monday. Tomorrow, well, maybe tonight I don't know if I will or not. I was gonna say I might do a little bit more in my craft room to get that done. But maybe not. Maybe a little bit tomorrow. Kathy, yes. Okay, pray for my daughter, her baby. Wait, I lost it. Hold on. Oh. Pray for my daughter, her baby girl, my granddaughter, 4 months, 1 week old. Oh no! Oh no, Kathy! Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Oh, bless your heart, Tammy. Oh, Kathy, I am so sorry. Oh, God love you. Oh, bless her heart. She was such a little fighter. I am so sorry. Oh. That makes me so... I was just looking at pictures on Slack of her. Oh. God love her. She did fight, though, Kathy. Oh, I'm so sorry. But God bless her. Jesus wanted her. And that doesn't make it any easier for you or your daughter or the father. Oh, that breaks my heart for you. Because she was doing okay there for a little bit. Wasn't she rallying, Kathy? Oh, I'm just so sad to hear that. Oh. So she was in the NICU for a month, Kathy? Oh. I feel so bad. because you always hope and pray that it's, that they're going to be able to just rally and get through it. Oh, of course it is. She was doing good. She was in the NICU for 4 months? Okay, Tammy. So, all right, Kathy, okay, wait a minute. Help me again, because I saw the pictures, but was she born before? Did she come early? Is that what it was? I don't remember. Her kidneys failed. Oh. Oh. I have 2, Jackie. I was really praying that she would, bless her little heart. Oh, God love her. Oh, your poor daughter. She was 28 weeks. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It just happened today, Kathy. She had congenital disorder of glycose. I don't know what that means. Glycosylation. I can't say it right. Glycosylation. What does that mean, Kathy, in layman terms? Oh. So your daughter and yourself, you would go see her in the hospital. Oh. Oh, you held her tonight. Oh, God love her. God love you. Oh. Oh, that breaks my heart. Oh. Glycosylation. But I don't know what it means. I've never heard of that. Does your daughter have other children, Kathy, or is this her first? She was the mom in the NICU who was there all the time. Oh. No, she is 39. No more children. Does she have children before Autumn? Or did she not have any children until Autumn? It is a genetic disorder. You guys, I'm just going to say a prayer real quick. If all of you would just pray along with me. Father, I just ask you to be with Kathy and her daughter and the father right now, Jesus. We don't know why these things happen, but you needed her there for whatever reason. And that's hard to accept when we rally for our loved one to make it and to stay with us. Father, I just ask you to put your loving arms around Kathy's daughter and Kathy and their family right now in this time of sadness and not knowing why. I just ask you to be with them and just give them just a peace that they don't understand, but to know that she's with you and she's whole and healthy and that she will see her. We just ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I am so sorry. That just breaks my heart. Gosh, that just breaks my heart. I was just looking at her pictures today before I went to work. We just don't know why. We don't know why these things happen, Kathy. We don't know. We can question it, until forever. And, I mean, I did that even with Tanya, and I just, I mean, we don't know. We don't know why. Only God knows. But the hope that we do have is that one day we'll be back with them forever, And that's not much of a consolation when, especially when it's brand new like tonight. I know that. I know it's not. And a lot of times it's better not to even say anything, except that we're here and we're praying and, I mean, no words can bring any kind of, I don't know, I don't even know how to say it, but I learned a long time ago when there's a death, the best thing to say is, I'm here. I'm here. And not to ever say, I know what you're going through, or just, I'm here. I have no words, Hi, Juju Bees. Oh no, Michelle. Laying here next to my hubby in hospice. There is shock at first, Nicole. Definitely. And I do think that a lot of times the shock is almost God's, I don't know how to say it, but I know with Tanya, it was like I was numb. I was numb. And it was like, I remember going through the motions of everything and doing what I had to do, but I almost felt like it wasn't really me. It was like, I don't know, it sounds bizarre, but that's how I felt. And I think if we didn't have that, I think it would be almost too much to be able to take in. And I think that's just God's way of kind of putting a balming over you. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't, the shock of it is kind of padded by that, if you will, by the shock. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, yeah, Jackie, of course, because I mean, your husband passing, it hasn't been that long. And yeah, there are no words. Yeah, I guess I was supposed to be here tonight, because I kept contemplating, do I just lay down and watch YouTube, or should I go on for a few minutes, and just see how everybody's doing, because I haven't been on for a few days. Yeah, the numbness is real. It is. And there's every other emotion that'll go with it. Yeah, jujubes. I do believe that. I mean, if we really felt the full impact when it first happens, I don't think we could take it mentally. I don't think we could even begin to deal with it. And I think that's why the body goes into kind of a shock mode, where anyone that's lost anyone, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like you go through the motions, but it's like, I'm going through this, but I can't believe I'm going through this, and I can't believe this is happening. And it's like you're there in the moment, but you're not there. It's the most bizarre thing I ever experienced in my whole life. And I pray to God I never have to experience it again. Wait, I just saw they left the hospital. My heart is broken. Oh my God, yes. Kathy, yes, of course, Not only as a grandmother of the baby, but then you're looking at your daughter, your baby, going through this torment and sadness. The thing that she had, Kathy, I'll look it up. You don't have to say anything. Don't you say anything. But if anyone knows about what the baby had, you can tell me. I'll look it up. That's fine. I'll look it up. Don't worry about it. But I mean, obviously they did everything they could, but did they think she was going to pull out of it, Kathy? Or did they know from the beginning that it could be just, a matter of time? I mean, I don't know exactly what this means or meant. Life seems so unfair. My heart and prayers are with everyone here. Thankful for the promise of Jesus. Yes, you and me both, Michelle. We've been together since we were 15 and 16, now 53 and 54. Oh, God love you. Oh, God bless you, Michelle. Oh, I know, Kathy. And you know what? And that is the honest to God's truth. I remember, and you know what's really bizarre about the whole thing? When Tanya passed, it was the same hospital that she gave birth to her kids in. And I remember sitting there and thinking, it wasn't that long ago that I was here under a completely different situation, coming to see her. Well, my first grandchild with her, I was there when she was born. The other two, I came after they were born in the hospital. But it was the very same hospital that I went and saw her for the last time, before they took her in because she was a donor. And just the irony of it was crazy. It was just crazy. But you look around and you think, can you just stop for a minute? I just lost my daughter, okay? Or for Kathy, my grandchild just passed, and, and outside, and the doctors and nurses are talking, and, life goes on. But for you, life stopped. And you think to yourself, can you please, I mean, and that's just the human mind. Of course you're thinking, can everyone just stop for a minute? Yeah, Kathy, and that is the truth. I mean, God is the only one. I mean, after all is said and done, I don't know what I would do if I did not have my faith. Honest, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. Oh, I know, Robin. Life does stop. Yeah, my heart goes out to your daughters so much. And for you, Michelle, with your husband. Let's pray for Michelle too, real quick. Father, I just ask you to be with Michelle right now. Jesus, they've been together for so long. I mean, for all intents and purposes, their whole life. I just ask you to be with Michelle right now and to be with her husband, and just what she's going through and what he's going through, that you just let them know that you're with them and your hands are on them, and that you will just give them this peace and just make this time together something that, although it is something she doesn't want, something that will just really bring her even more, knowing that she's going to be with him one day. And it's because of you and the faith that she has in you that this will take place. Father, it's not easy. It's not easy, and no one said it was going to be easy. But I just ask you to be with her right now while she's going through this terrible, terrible time. And I just thank you that you've given them all these years together, Father, that they've had so many years and so many memories. I just ask you just to be with all these people. Everybody's hurting in one way or the other, some more than others right now, Jesus. And I just ask you to be with all of us in these trying times that everyone's going through. I ask this in your precious name. Amen. Yeah, Jackie, it's true. We're not very far, Denise, if we're not there with God. I don't know what we would do. I really don't. Like I always told my kids when they were growing up, and they were, teenagers, maybe 13, 14, whatever. And I always told them, there's going to come a day that I'm not going to be here anymore. Your dad's not going to be here anymore. But the thing you need to know, God will always be with you, always. And you can look to him because he'll always be there. Thank God they all believe. And it's true. I mean, none of us are going to, we're all going to experience the same thing. But as far as, when you're raising kids, to let them know that there is one that will always be there. To me, it's so important, because if they only look to the parent, well, we're human. We're all going to go. And if that child is only looking at you and thinks that this is it, and not to know that there is something beyond, you know what I mean? That was always very important for me to tell my kids. Oh, I know, Robin. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, Nicole, I agree. Well, Jujubes, I'm glad. Oh, my son's been watching that too, Michelle. He told me to watch it. He said it's really good. Oh, thanks, Nicole. Oh, Kathy, it is so important. So important, in my opinion. I mean, for them to know that there is more to this life than this life. You know what I mean? Because God help us. I mean, if this is all that there is, we're doomed, my friends. We are doomed. If this life that we're living right now, and we all know what this world is going through right now, if this is all that you really thought was in existence, you might as well forget about it. You know? I mean, I I mean, if this is all we have to look forward to is what we're experiencing right now, God help us all. I am so thankful that there's more than just right now and what we're living in. I'll have to watch it, Michelle, because Jason was saying it's really good. Oh, there has to be more, Michelle. There has to. You're welcome, Nicole. I didn't do anything, but you're welcome. But I do know what you mean. I mean, to me, nothing ever happens by happenstance. To me, there is no coincidence. To me, there's no coincidence about meeting people that come into your lives, whether it's good or it's bad. There's a lesson in all of it, as far as I'm concerned. Even things that we go through in our life, there's a reason. I mean, my mother was not there for me. She was abusive. She was, yeah, I can't even go into what she was. But anyway, my grandmother was my mother for all intents and purposes. She was the one that I looked at as my mother. And I'm thankful to God for that, But we all have our own stories. We all have our own, lives, good and bad, that we've gone through. But knowing that the ultimate is that one day believing that we will be in heaven with God is the ultimate of everything. Oh, the anniversary of your mother's death is tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Really, Shay? Oh. Has she been gone long, Nicole? This life is hard. Oh, Kathy, it just breaks my heart. Her first baby. Now, Kathy, you said no more children. So she doesn't want any more children, or are they saying that another child would have this? Oh, there is more than this, Denise. I have no doubt in my mind there is. Oh, I know, Tammy. If this is it, if this is all there is, all of a sudden I feel like I need to sing that song. If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. Oh, you better believe he is, Nicole. You better believe it. He is with us right now. She died in 2014. God does have his plan. It's hard, and it is hard to understand. It is very hard to understand. I'm sure they do 1 of 4 chances without help of IVF. Okay. Oh, Kathy, I just cannot tell you how bad I feel. You miss your mom so much. It'll be 23 years this month. No. Yes, I found out in December she tried killing me at 2 weeks, and on top of 16 years of abuse, been away in my depression. Oh yeah, trust me. Trust me, I know about that. I remember saying to her my mother, I remember saying to her one time, you make Joan Crawford look like an angel. I did. Oh, she got so mad when I said that. But it's the truth. It was the truth. She was terrible. Terrible. That's all I'm going to say. She was terrible. But thank God for my grandmother. 25% having same, 50% carrier, 25% not carrier. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. My mom died the danger. It will be hard because of Mother's Day. So sorry. So sorry, Denise. We were brought here together tonight for a reason. I'm just here, and I'm glad that you're all here. I am too, Nicole. Yeah. On my Facebook, I put a picture up of my grandmother and myself. She's the one I miss. I always kind of looked at my mother. I know this sounds bizarre, but I always looked at her as the mean aunt. I never had a real connection with her, as weird as that sounds, because my grandmother I was with her all the time, and, I mean, my mother made it very clear that she just didn't like me. And she made it very well known. And and a lot of times my friends, Levon, the one that made me the quilt that you're looking at, she knew my mother and she knew my grandmother. And she was scared to death of my mother. But she knew my grandmother too. And she knew the things I went through as a kid. But, people will ask me, what was it like? I mean, do you feel like you were gypped, because of the way your mother was and how she was towards you? And I guess I fared halfway okay because of my grandmother, because I did have that maternal person in my life. Yeah, I mean, of course, there are stigmas because of how my mother was towards me. Of course. I mean, you're not going to get away from it scot-free. But I always look at what I did have with my grandmother. Now, had I not had my grandmother, God only knows what I would be like at this stage of the game. But the bottom line is I did have my grandmother. And I would much prefer to be raised by her than my mother, just because of the type of person she was. Oh yeah, Shay, same with me. Yeah, I mean, I always had a fighting spirit in me. I guess it was just inbred in me. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, trust me, I have stories. I'm not kidding. But I mean, yeah, I guess I just always had this determination in me. And I just knew that I would never be the way my mother was to me, to my kids. And I never was. I was more the way my grandmother was to me. And I'm thankful to God. Really, I'll be honest, I'm thankful to God that I was raised by my grandmother, because when I look now as an adult, and look at what it could have been being raised by her opposed to being raised by my grandmother, I am thankful to God I was raised by my grandmother. So I don't regret that whatsoever. Oh, Kathy, of course you did. You felt sick. Of course you did. Oh, my Lord. Her name was Adam Reese. Oh, Autumn Reese. I'm sorry, Autumn Reese. Oh, I had opposite. My mom was wonderful. My grandma was mom's. Oh, see? We all have our own. Thanks, Shay. So glad my hubby was the exact opposite of my mother. I am too, Michelle. I'm glad too. Of course, Kathy. Do you live far from your daughter? Where are you, Kathy? Are you where it's getting into the wee morning hours? Carice. Oh, what a beautiful name. Her dad used to call her Reese. Aw. That's a beautiful name, Kathy. I've never heard that. Carice. Am I saying it right? Carice? You're in Illinois. So you're to almost 3 o'clock. Okay. I feel sorry for you, Kathy, though. Are you living by yourself? And that's what's hard, as a mother and then a grandmother, you're carrying both of that, the mourning of your grandchild and the mourning for your daughter, you know. I remember we went to the gravesite in March when, Tanya passed away in March. And my two oldest granddaughters, Tanya's daughters, they were older when she passed, but her son was, he was only 11. And Tanya and Blake were very, very close. And so he was there, and Tanya had two grandchildren, because my granddaughter Ashley, because Ashley's going to be 30, and she became a mom very young. And so I have two great grandchildren, and Isabella was close to Tanya. So that day that we were at the gravesite, I just kept hugging her, and she was close to Tanya. So I know what that's like, because I lost my daughter, but then I look at her kids and I look at her grandkids, and my heart breaks for them. And then you feel like, okay, I've got to kind of try to help them as well. You know what I mean? So it's all that to say, to an extent, I know, Kathy, what, you're dealing with and the mourning that you're feeling. And it can be overwhelming. I mean, it just can. And that's why, again, thank God that you're a believer and you can go to God, because I'll tell you what, I can't begin to tell you how much I have gone to him through this whole thing with Tanya. I mean, like I said before, if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would do. No, I remarried, but you remarried, but it was probably a mistake. Okay, yep, I understand that. Almost 4 o'clock here in Louisville. Glad the Derby is over. Oh yeah, it was the Kentucky Derby. Born in Decatur. And I moved to Arizona. You're in Arizona now, Deb, on the move? I live outside of Rockford. Thank you, Shay. Sending my love. Hi, Leslie Romani. How are you, sweetie? Did I wake you up with my loud mouth? Oh, of course, Kathy. You're broke for both of you, of course. Hi, Joyce. What will help you, though, believe it or not, Kathy? Good night, Captain Lee fan. Happy Mother's Day. It's almost 4 a.m. I need to go to bed. Okay, Robin. Good night, Robin. Love you. Happy Mother's Day, sweetie. I hope you get with your daughter soon. Thank you, Leslie. Same to you, sweetie. I wish you could see Polly right now. She's running in circles because she's hearing me say goodnight to people. She has been with me through YouTube, so she knows when I say goodnight, she's thinking, "Oh, I'm going to bed." So she starts getting all excited. Oh, Polly. I know, Kathy. Bless your heart. Oh, what I was going to say is the thing that's going to help you a little bit. I mean, you're going to have your moments. There's no doubt about it. But what's going to help you, just you, I believe, is that you're going to have to be there for your daughter, and which is going to help you, believe it or not, being there for her. Now, I'm not saying that when you don't go home, and you're alone, that you're not gonna, have to go through your own. But I remember for me when I had to talk to my kids, because I had to remember that, yes, I lost my daughter, but my children also lost their sister, and my grandkids lost their mother, and my great-grandkids lost their grandmother. You know what I mean? So when I would be talking to them, it helped me because I could it's the most bizarre dynamic, but when you're helping them, it kind of, in a weird way, removes you for a minute in the grief that you're feeling, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I know it might not make a lot of sense to some, but it's the only way I can put it into words, and I might not be putting it in right words. Thank you, Shay. Happy Mother's Day to you too, sweetie. Good night, Michelle. Yes, Kathy, exactly. To comfort your daughter, I remember when I was talking to my granddaughters after, and with Isabella, my great granddaughter, Tanya's granddaughter, it there was some kind of a almost, for lack of a better word, there was a little bit of a healing when I would go outside of myself, although I was grieving and I had my times when I was trying to comfort others in the loss of her. And that's not to say, trust me, that is not to say that I didn't have many, many moments of my own, in the beginning. I mean, I would scream. I mean, in the very beginning, I would just sometimes scream and cry. And anyone that's lost anyone, you know what I'm talking about. And Kathy, you know what I'm talking about. You all, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, just, oh, yeah. I mean, but then when I could pull myself together and then start to, talk and try to comfort the others, it does do something to a little bit of a degree help and heal you in that. But believe me, I mean, I would just sometimes put my head into a pillow and just scream, I mean, it was just, but I will say, don't try when you're alone or whenever you feel like you have to, do not suppress the grief. Do not suppress the crying or just the screaming. Whatever you have to do, whatever your way is that you have to do it, do it. The worst thing you could possibly do is just to try to suppress the feelings that you're feeling. I mean, that I am adamant about, because my one son, he kept trying to keep everything in, and I said, Jeremy, you got to stop. You have got to stop. He goes, I don't want to feel it. I said, you've got to feel it, because if you don't, it's going to manifest in another way, and it could be physically, because I do believe our bodies, if we're stressed and we try to hold it in, it's going to come out one way or the other. So whatever you need to do, you do it. And don't try to hold back, because I know it's hard. You don't want to feel that pain. You don't, you just don't want to meet it head on, if you will. And I had to. I mean, there was no other way. I had to do that because I had to be able to purge. It's almost like it's purging is what it is. Whether it's a child, it's a husband, it's a sibling, it's a parent, I don't care who it is. You've got to release all of that. You have to. If that's one thing I could say to anybody, that is what I would say. Don't ever try to hold it in or hold back from it. But anyway, I'm sure everyone's getting tired. And I'm just reading back real quick. It's close to my daughter to take a shower this week. Help me, because I could do something that makes perfect sense. When I lost my child, I didn't want to be around anyone. If mother was still alive, she would. I know. I told my daughter, cry and don't be ashamed. My daughter has a lot of big stress. Yeah, I mean, and I was the same way, Deb on the Move. I mean, I wanted to be by myself. I completely went inward. Completely. I mean, I just, I remember I could sit in this chair and I would just shut my eyes and I would reminisce about when she was born, and, when she was little, and then when she got older. I mean, I would go through the whole thing. And all of a sudden, I would realize it had been hours that I was doing this. And I did this for days and days and days. And then I thought, you know what? I got to reach out to my other kids, because they lost their sister, and their mother. And then I started to do what I just said. And I mean, there's still bad days. There are still bad days, believe me. But the more that you start to try to help others, in their grief, and, listen, it really does help, and it does heal to a certain extent. It really does. Again, I mean, it's been 3 years now since she passed, and in the beginning, I mean, I wouldn't even try to tell someone to do that. What I would tell anyone that's going through this right now, Michelle or Kathy, Michelle with her husband, Kathy, you with your granddaughter, what I would say right now is to feel what you're feeling and to let your emotions do what they need to do. That really is what I would say. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely normal. And God will meet you at that point. That is what I would say. But I do understand what Deb on the Move is saying, because I was the same way, That's why I really went into my YouTube I mean, I had a YouTube channel before she passed. But when she did pass, that is what I did. And some people would say, I can't believe that you were doing this, shortly after she died. And what I would say to them is, you're seeing what I'm doing for an hour, and editing, I might add. You don't see me the other 23 hours of the day. You know what I mean? People think because you come on that, oh, wow. No, well, that's not true. I mean, I could get off that camera and, scream and cry my head off. But YouTube gave me a way of releasing a little bit, because I didn't want to see my friends, my friends, where they would come and see me. I didn't want to see anybody. As weird as that sounds, I threw myself into YouTube, but I didn't want to see anyone physically, if that makes any sense. But yeah, you do what you need to do. You don't worry about anything else. You just do what you need to do. That is, if I was going to give any kind of, or offer my opinion, that is what I would say. And don't care what anyone else thinks of it. You know what I mean? Don't worry. Anyway, I was sorry.